Most people spend hours trying to perfect an eye, nose, or the lips, hoping everything will somehow come together in the end. But in reality, a portrait usually succeeds or fails long before you ever think about details. The first decisions you make are the almost always the most important ones. As you can see, I'm starting by establishing the outer control of the portrait, often called the envelope. Its purpose is simple. It helps me place the subject correctly on the paper before I commit to do anything else. One of the most common mistakes beginners make is starting with an eyes or any other details. Once you begin rendering details too early, everything else has to be adjusted around them, and that's usually when the proportions slowly begin to fall apart. Instead, I focus only on the main landmarks of the head, the hairline, eyebrows, the eyes, the bottom of the nose, the mouth, the jawline, and finally the shoulders. At this stage, I'm not trying to create a beautiful drawing. I'm simply building a structure that will support everything that comes later. Once I'm happy with the placement, I can finally begin thinking about values. Personally, I like establishing the darkest accents very early in the process. They become my reference points for every other value I'll add later. In this portrait, the hair and the shadow beneath the jaw immediately becomes those anchors. Instead of slowly building every value at once, I first separate the darkest shapes from everything else. That immediately gives the portrait more clarity, and it makes it much more easier to judge the remaining tones. At this point, I'm still ignoring the most of the subtle shadows. Right now, I'm only interested in the strongest value relationships because those create the foundation of the portrait. Now I begin introducing the background, not because I won't finish it this early, but because values are always relative. A shadow can look very dark against the white paper, but once it's surrounded by darker values, it suddenly doesn't feel nearly as dark anymore. That's why I like building the portrait and add background together. It helps me judge every value much more accurately. Now that the darkest accents are established, I can begin introducing the secondary shadows. This is where the portrait slowly starts gaining volume. You'll notice that I'm still using a very light touch. I'm not trying to draw individual forms yet. I'm simply describing the large planes of the head. Whenever I work with wine charcoal, I let the material do the most of the work. Instead of pressing harder, I simply move the charcoal across the paper with almost no pressure. The texture of the paper naturally creates the soft transitions that would make much longer to imitate by drawing every small change individually. One mistake I see very often is artists trying to finish one feature at a time. Personally, I prefer moving across the entire portrait. I'll work on one area for a few seconds, then move somewhere else, and eventually come back again. Uh, that's why every part of the drawing develops together. Nothing becomes overworked while everything around is still unfinished. As more shadows begin to appear, I'm constantly comparing them to each other. I'm not asking whether shadow is dark, I'm asking whether it's darker or lighter than the one next to it. A drawing is really just about comparing relationships, relationships between angles, proportions, and the values. If those relationships are correct, realism almost takes care of itself. One thing I've learned over the years is that every time I become obsessed with details too early, usually end up making a drawing worse. So even now, I'm constantly stepping back and looking at the portrait as a whole. I'm asking myself simple questions. Does the head still feel balanced? Does the light still make sense? And most importantly, does the portrait still feel believable? Those questions are far more important than asking whether a tiny detail is perfect or not. Around this stage, I also begin paying more attention to the eyes, nose, and the mouth. Not because I'm interested in details yet, but because these features are what gives the portrait its likeness. Even very small changes in their proportions can completely change the final result. That's why I still work carefully, making small corrections whenever something feels slightly off. It's much easier to fix a small mistake now than after another 2 hours of rendering. At this point, The portrait is finally starting to feel three-dimensional, not because of details, but because of values are beginning to describe the form. And that's an important difference. A realistic portrait isn't created by drawing every wrinkle or every individual hair. Is created by convincing the viewer that the head has volume. Once the structure feels solid, the details become much easier to add later. As you can see, I'm slowly refining the facial features, but I'm still trying to avoid becoming too precise. One piece of advice I'd like to give you is not to rush dark backgrounds. A lot of beginners simply grab a piece of charcoal and start pressing as hard as they can, trying to reach the darkest value as quickly as possible. Personally, I almost never do that. Instead, I slowly building the background in layers. One light layer, then another, and another. As these layers overlap, the charcoal naturally creates a much richer and more even surface. Another thing I pay close attention is the quality of the edges. Not every edge should be sharp. Some transitions should almost disappear into paper. Those soft edges create atmosphere and help the portrait feel much more natural. Ironically, making an edge less visible makes an often the drawing feel more realistic. Around this stage, I also begin adjusting the clothing. I continue building darker values little by little instead of trying to reach the final darkness immediately. Layering charcoal gives me much more control and creates much richer surface. You'll probably notice that I don't blend absolutely everything, and that's completely intentional. One of the things I love about charcoal is its natural texture. Something leaving small imperfections actually makes the drawing feel more alive. If everything is perfectly smooth, the portrait can easily become lifeless. Texture adds character. The same idea applies to the background. I'm still making small adjustments, darkening certain areas, softening others, and making sure that nothing distracts from the face. Everything else is simply there to support the portrait. At this stage, I'm no longer making major changes. Everything is already in place. And now it's simply a matter of refining the values, improving the balance, and making sure that portrait feels cohesive as a whole. One thing I've learned over the years is that successful drawing usually isn't about the result of one brilliant decision. It's a result of hundreds of small corrections, little decisions made throughout the entire process. If there's one thing I'd like to you remember from this lesson is this: don't chase details, chase the good decisions, focus on big shapes first, build your values gradually, and trust the process. The details will naturally follow. I hope this video gave you a better understanding not only of how I approach portrait drawing, but more importantly, how I think while drawing. And if you'd like to dive deeper into the entire process, I've also prepared an extended version exclusively for channel members. Inside the membership, you'll find a longer cut with additional commentary and complete list of all the tools and materials I use and additional insights that simply didn't fit into this free tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.